So you want to upgrade that Windows Home to Windows Pro, or just get killer prices on Windows, Office 2016 and cheap gaming keys? Head on down to 009, make sure you copy and paste my code from the description to get a price that's going to make you go woo! Right, tell you there champs, now let me introduce you to the fastest thin premium gaming laptop you can buy. That is for real. This is the fastest one. Now there may be some compromises in that. I'll get to that later. But if you're comparing this to say the Aero 15 or the Razer Blade, this is indeed faster because it does have a full GTX 1070 and it has a G-Sync monitor, which sort of separates it from those as they have Max-Q and they don't have a G-Sync monitor. Now if you're new around here, come on, get on the Woo train. Like, subscribe, you won't regret it. So in Australia, they started around 2,900. The model I have here, you can get it for around 3,400 Australian. In the US, started around 1,800. That's for the GTX 1060 model, and the GTX 1070 model is about $2,200 in the US. Same amount of pounds in the UK, more or less. That's about what you'd expect for a premium thin gaming laptop. If you have a look at it, you can't miss those bezels. The bezels are big compared to its competitors, although they do have a new one out now that has slimmer bezels. Different SKU, it's a different model, but with this one here, you do have the big bezels. Other than that, it just looks like a concept gone into production. I've said that before. The finish on the top is top drawer, and you sort of have to see it to believe, but it fits right in with these premium laptops. So everything is quality, has a gamer aesthetic, ROG aesthetic. You can't mistake it as a red ROG logo that lights up on the back. With these gaming laptops, they're either you like them or you sort of don't. But I have no issues with build quality. This would be compared to the Razer Blade and say the Aero 15 and the MSI GS65. Now out of all those laptops, as I said, this is the fastest for gaming, but the compromise there is the battery life isn't as good as those other models. You know, they're all around the same size and weight. You know, this is 17.5 millimeters, and when you open it up, because it does have that unique mechanism where it opens up the back, it goes up to 19 millimeters thick, but 17.5 closed. 2.45 kilos, I think that's around 4.5 pounds. That's what you'd expect in this segment. Now the specs of this model here is it has an i7-8750H, 16 gigabytes of RAM, maximum up to 32 gigs, 512 gigabyte NVMe SSD, 1 terabyte SSD, a 1080p display, 144 Hz, 3 milliseconds G-Sync monitor. Woo! That is pretty good. For gaming, it doesn't get any better with that. Oh, and I made a mistake. Not a 1 terabyte SSD, it's a 1 terabyte hard drive, 2.5 inch mechanical hard drive. So that's great. You can put your games on that. You have an NVMe drive for your Windows and applications. And it was around 2,500 megabytes per second read and around 1,500 write. But the thing is, this can change. They can change whatever SSD they want to put in there at the time. You have plenty of ports. You have Thunderbolt 3, 4 USB 3s, HDMI 2.0 out. You have the power jack, which is in an odd sort of place. I don't like the placement of the power jack, sort of in the middle there. And you have a combination headphone microphone jack. So pretty much every port you want, other than it doesn't have DisplayPort or Ethernet. The sound is actually pretty good. It has bottom firing speakers. Obviously, when you game and the fans are going, you will want a headset. But if you're just watching movies and stuff, you'll get a good experience. The sound is above average for sure. The keyboard is actually really good. Nice amount of travel. It feels nice. It has RGB zones and you can control that with the ROG Game Center. Obviously, with a number pad, the keyboard is shifted a bit left, so you'll have to get used to that. But I doubt there's anyone that's going to hate this keyboard. The same with the trackpad too. It's a bit smallish, but it has a nice feel to it. It's nice and smooth, the gestures work well, and the click is quite satisfying. Now, when it comes to monitors, I think this is the best 1080p display on these premium 15-inch gaming laptops because one, it's G-Sync, two, it just looks friggin' awesome. And not only is it G-Sync, 144 Hz and 3 milliseconds response time. So, you know, a fair bit quicker than these other monitors. The color gamut was around 90% sRGB. You could use this for color work. It is fairly color accurate, but this is really best for gaming, obviously. And I honestly think this is the best 1080p gaming monitor I have seen on a 15-inch premium laptop so far. So top marks for the display. You're going to love it. As I said, the monitor is G-Sync, but you can actually turn G-Sync off. Now, this is very unique. Usually you can't turn off G-Sync. And when you turn off G-Sync, because it has such a small battery, 55 watt hour, I was only getting around an hour and a half extra battery life. pushing maybe 4 hours battery life, 3.5 around there. With G-Sync on, you only get around 2.5 hours battery life. So this is one area it does fall short compared to the other competitors, but you have the choice, right? Do you want the best gaming one, which is this one, has the best monitor, has a full GTX 1070, and it has G-Sync, or do you want the battery life of the other models? That's up to you. So when it comes to performance, there's not much more you can say than it is the best. I do have a gaming review on this, so check that out. That'll show you how it performs in the games. But know that there's no overheating. It's not going to throttle. Temperatures are in the 80s with CPU, 70s with GPU. When I peg the CPU, it can maintain 3.9 gigahertz pretty much indefinitely if I undervolted it by minus 40 millivolts. If you don't undervolt it, you're going to get around 3.6, 3.7 gigahertz, which is pretty good. And as you'll see in the render test, it won. It's faster than any laptop I've tested so far. That's because it could maintain that sort of 3.7 to 3.9 gigahertz in the render. Now the cooling is such that I would like to see maybe an option of an i9 in here, maybe be power limit throttling a little bit if you had that, but it would be good to see. But it performs so good with this 7750H, so there's not going to be much to be gained by using a higher spec processor. So in conclusion, I've said it once, I've said it twice, I'll say it again. It is the fastest 15-inch premium thin laptop. The compromise of the battery, only getting that 4 hours max sort of thing. Are you willing to sacrifice that for the extra gaming performance you're going to get on this? I mean, it's hard to really pick on this. It'll be good to see the bezels get smaller, and I'd actually like to see them get rid of the 2.5-inch drive. Just get rid of that, put two M.2s in there and increase the size of the battery, and then you're nearing perfection there. If you're a gamer, you're going to love this thin and light, gets full performance, and you're going to love this thing. So I'd like to really thank you guys for watching. And until next time, guys, tally ho.